Welcome to Resident Evil, I guess. Yeah, I love this game, and I was making some content on it, and then I realized that there's actually space for some much more interesting content about this game, and so I was like, why the hell aren't I making that instead? So I've decided to make that instead, because this game is actually brilliantly designed in, let's take its first 15 minutes or so, in teaching you how to play the game, how to work with the game, and how to deal with some of the game's harder difficulty concepts. It's really nicely put together. So we're going to start a new game just to demonstrate this. We're going to play with Claire, and we'll actually play with hardcore, because why not start a new game in hardcore mode? Sure, okay, good, bosh, and we begin. First things first, most crucially, the game teaches you that this is a game all about eating, because that is the most delicious looking hamburger I have ever seen, well, cheeseburger, bacon cheeseburger by the looks of things, I've ever seen in a video game. That burger is also thick. Oh, it looks delicious, looks wonderful, and look, it's a game all about munching. Right, let's go forward. We'll skip through most of the cutscenes, so, you know, I'm not trying to spoil too much here, but hey, it's also the first 15 minutes, so you're not really missing out too much. First things first, pretty standard fare. We get a nice big open space to just look around, walk around, we can run all over the place. And very clear, by the way, of where we need to go. Standard gaming trick of having a car with some lights pointing towards the door you want to run through. So very obvious highlighting of, hey, yeah, you want to go into that door. This is nothing novel or new so far, but there's some really good stuff coming up. There is also this great big red thing of Dinger Red cigarettes. Honestly, not too sure why that's so big and red, to be honest, but hey, definitely draws the eye. Okay, let's go. Hamburgers. More hamburgers. Game very clearly proud of its hamburgers. Okay. First things first, gets us used to also being in a dark environment and the use of the flashlight and how Claire moves around. This environment here is much more like what you're going to be finding in the game, but actually no real threat in this moment. Nice lad on the floor here, he seems to be fine. He's not going to talk to us, he's just going to point into the back room. And then, like a massive douchebag, he's going to lock us into the back. So, the game is now going to force us to fight our first zombie, and I'm going to scrub it up intentionally just to demonstrate what I think the game actually wants to happen. I've heard from a number of people that this zombie not only kills them, well, not only bites them, but it kills them very frequently, right? We are in a very small environment, very claustrophobic environment with the zombie. We are new to the controls, and let's just say, oh, I'm shooting, take him out, okay, we staggered him, oh, I'm going to reload, oh no, I'm not moving, and so I'm going to get munched. Game instantly tells you how much damage you are taking right beneath me, and now the zombie's going to get up slowly, we're going to shoot him again, and now keep shooting him till he's down, and hopefully not die. That would be embarrassing. Welcome to hardcore. Game, don't mess around. Okay, I think he's down. Now, the interesting thing is, in the normal game, zombies will just continually get up as you fight them, right? They will continually, you know, as you do things, they will get up and, oh, ladies, I'm now demonetized, apparently. There goes all the YouTube revenue. Oh no, that $7 I was making. Oh, that's all gone. But yeah, he waits actually until you pick up the key item and then gets up. Now, luckily, we know where the door is, so we can go use the key item. Pop open the door. Of course, we learn how to use the inventory as well. And now we can go. Now, the cool part about this little area is that these zombies are not very threatening, right? He falls over and he's like half stuck behind a thing. Got a zombie over here, but he's facing the wrong way and wandering in circles. And this guy is actually stuck behind terrain. And the moment you step here, you don't actually have to move towards the door. I can't actually turn around, it forces you to look at Leon, and as such, we are now safe. Big things it's teaching you, moving through narrow environments, zombies are kind of slow, zombies take a lot of shooting, but zombies deal a lot of damage. Most crucially, you take a huge amount of hurting in this game. They're also kind of difficult to kill. What this does is it sets up the fear, right? It sets up the paranoia that, okay, well, zombies, if they get you, you are going to take damage, you are going to be hurt, you might die. It's going to be tough, okay? You need to fear the zombies a little bit because this is a horror game, right? If you could kill the zombies in 2 shots, it wouldn't be scary. The fact that they take 6, 7, 8, 10 shots sometimes to take down, suddenly, well, now you have to think a lot about your ammo supplies, now you have to think a lot about which zombies you kill, which zombies you avoid, and all this kind of stuff. It sets up the game brilliantly for the main thrust of how this game functions, which is avoiding zombies, dealing with the threats, and managing your supplies carefully. all done in the first couple of scenes. And we have this brilliant now intro sequence where it's going to teach us running more than anything. Pay attention to how many zombies are lumped in front of us. We've seen that these things can kill us in 2 shots, and this is the very start of the game. And look at that. There are tons of them in front of us, but notice that we're not actually really threatened, right? That are whacking great big space to move through. I think this zombie's even intentionally a little bit slow, and as such, we can just move through here safely, right? I can run around in this space relatively safely without too much of a worry, because these zombies are all staggering around, and yeah, they're not that hard-coded to like follow you and chase you properly, but it's just to give you that looming threat of, okay, well, they could go for you, but they're slow. You can avoid, like, in big open spaces, you can dodge them pretty easily. So we preface that, okay, well, zombies do a lot of damage, zombies are slow and could be avoided, and now we know all sorts of good things. There's one zombie ahead of here as well that I really like myself. This one's going to walk into a little bit of a nook and cranny. This guy, I like to think, teaches you that, hey, yeah, zombies are a bit slow at turning around. This guy, also the same thing. He's going to turn around that way, we're going to go this way, which is the safest way, because that's the way he can't grab us, and as such, we are nice and safe. So it's always reinforcing like things like run behind zombies, run past zombies, run. Okay, we're going to skip forward a little bit, just not too far, but a little bit into a genius bit of design in an important corridor. Okay, welcome to probably the first really threatening corridor of the game. By the way, one thing I noticed that I didn't notice before, but the game actually heals you as well after that first cutscene. After that first little moment, you actually get a free heal, so any damage you take in the first training area, well, that doesn't matter. So this is the game teaching you something important. This is something the game does over and over again, which is it introduces you to a new environment when it's relatively safe. We heard a creak coming out of that door, so it's probably going to pop open later. Now, one really nice thing here is, hey, great big white double doors, you know, ornate, very obvious, and then blocks off pathway. Which way do you think every player on the planet is going to end up going? They're going to go in here. I'm sure there's some outlier out there, but they're probably, you know, they'll have a tough time. So we go in here and hey, it's a great big open room. We approach this corpse, we get some ammo, which we need. This is an interesting one because this sort of teaches you to maybe investigate corpses every now and then. But of course, corpses are walking around mostly in this game and are not safe at all. So yes, we want to be a little bit careful. But great big open room. We can even turn the lights on, make it feel nice and safe and cozy. Got the American flag. Don't hug it. It's awkward and creepy. Okay, let's go. And so, yeah, I'm just going to skip ahead again to when threats happen and the game starts teaching us more, because now it's just a matter of exploration. So we're about to have an important learning moment, which is that zombies can't get through stuff like this shutter, but they can get through doors. Gonna make myself some space. So zombies can go through doors, zombies can come through windows. Important to know, important fact. And this is the really cool moment, right? We're going to run, and if you keep running forward, well, you're going to run into the arms of 2 zombies. They come out just in time, and that woman always runs to cover the entirety of that corridor. You are being shepherded to come into this room to again learn that important lesson of avoid zombies. Lure them into a big room like this one, and then avoid them. Hopefully all 3 of these come in at once. Oh my lord, all 3 have come in at once. Okay, now we want to corral them. Come here, love. Oh no, don't you dare come this way. Woo! Woo! We made it. We did it. We did it, Reddit. Right, okay. And we can explore over there, by the way, but we're just going to keep on moving. But yeah, teaching you some important facts, right? That first, zombies can come through doors. 2, try and lure them into big open spaces where you can then deal with them and avoid them at a later date. Especially also when crises are happening, when there's multiple zombies getting involved in a single fracas, you want to avoid them. You don't want to stop and try and fight all these zombies. We just don't have the supplies, especially on this difficulty, to stop and kill all of them. There is one thing that I will say the game doesn't teach you very well, and this is sort of my one gripe, I suppose, which is that they don't teach you how to use the knife very well. The knife is actually your best friend, especially on this difficulty level, and we're going to go and learn how to use it. It does tell you that, you know, you can use it as a survival item, but honestly, the knife's best use is not as a survival item, it's as a stabby item. You want to stab people with it. Let me go show you how. Okay, so we have a lovely spooky corridor that we're going to start walking through, and we're going to be met with a lovely spooky zombie as well. Interesting fact about this zombie, she is hard-coded. Zombies that normally knock on windows are not this hard-coded, but because we literally, I think we can get a barricade, actually, in the corridor originally, but you're probably not going to have one at this point in the game, so it's instead hard-coded so that, well, she's going to smash through as we get to here. Now then, let's talk about knives, okay? Way more useful than you would expect. So first thing we need to do is knock this lass over. Go down. Nice. I'm going to run behind her, because you want to do this from behind, and then we're just going to slash her up. Always worth just keeping an extra stab or two if you're not sure. And there we go. Zombie dead in 4 bullets and a little bit of knife durability. And before you say, oh my god, the knife's taken... No, it's barely chipped away. You can kill about 5 zombies like this without too much worry. It's really efficient. Do this. Please do this. There's one more area I want to talk about, which is sort of teaching you what's threatening and what's not, I suppose. Which, you know, it's fair dues. Actually, there's a couple more things we can learn from this little area. So let's finish learning up through here. Let's go through here. There's a map in this room. You should really pick that up as well, but I'm not going to because tutorials. One thing I do want to talk about as well is like the fact that you can shoot the legs of a zombie. So again, notice safe space, big open environment, teaching you how to deal with zombies, the combat rules of the game in these safe environments. Let's try shooting his leg out. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of this. On hardcore especially, it really takes a lot of shots to take out the legs. It takes 3 to 5. You can do very similar with headshots, but he's down on the ground. He's going to have to crawl around. And now we can finish him off with our old friend, the Kniferino. You done? You done. Right. The other thing I want to address is this chappie, because you can actually stab him early, and hey, he's alive. And it's worth learning this sort of skill as well. If you don't stab him, by the way, when you approach the door behind me, I think that's when he gets up. Very much worth learning this sort of thing, right? Again, knife, only half used. So if we had to use it as a survival item, sure, it's a problem, but we've used like 3 bullets and killed 2 zombies. Pretty efficient. That guy get back up. God, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. You cooperate, sir. Sir, please. I'm trying to look cool on YouTube. It's uncooperative. Stealing the show, clearly. Okay, we have a little puzzle in this room. I'm not going to solve it, because it's not that kind of look, I suppose. But it involves looking at the desks, right? Teaches you here, hey, look at the desks to solve the puzzle. We're going to go and explore as well, and oh no, zombie has activated. So now we have a threat in the room. Now the cool part about it making you look at the desks is, well, this guy on his own, he's not a threat, right? We've learned that we can just run him around in circles in this room forever. Literally, you know, we'd have to be trying to get caught by this guy, but because we have to investigate the desks, we're going to have to approach this guy. And when you approach this guy, oh look, he's now getting involved in the mix. So now we have a real Royal Rumble with 2 zombies. This is sort of a little bit more advanced because what we have to try and ensure is that both zombies are ideally together and ideally on the same side of the office. If they are, then again, they're not actually that threatening as long as we can keep the desks between us and them. The moment, though, they get on both sides of you, well, then you're in a lot of trouble. And I think that's where we'll end things here. Thank you, sir. Sir, please. Sir, no. No. But yeah, thank you for watching. I love this game. There's probably tons of stuff later as well, like some stuff with the infamous Mr. X. He's going to give it to you. Oh, Claire, steady on, lass. In teaching you how to deal with him and how to handle him. But otherwise, yeah, the game does an actually incredible job at making sure you understand exactly what you're dealing with, the threat you are dealing with, and the rules of the game. Rules in horror games are so important to understand, and when you do understand them, you can really have a good, fulfilling experience. He's throwing out some gang signs. There we go. Beautiful. Amazing. Alright guys, thank you for watching to the end. I'll see you next time. Toodles.